So marriage goes back as far as human civilization. And so this idea that marriage itself is some type of white supremacist tool, that is simply, social gender studies type stuff, right?
What about the argument that is going around right now that regardless of your ethnic preference or who you're marrying and things like that, that marriage itself is a part of white supremacy, which and here let me explain the argument. So the argument is that marriage is part of white supremacy because marriage goes to further the capitalistic mindset, the capitalistic culture of America, and capitalism itself being a part of whiteness and white supremacy. Whereas when you look at maybe some of the Eastern cultures or, cultures outside of America that don't have a huge value on capitalism, the goal in marriage or partnership is usually to raise the children, to have the children, to raise them and make sure that they, are alive at the end of the day when they are, adults. They actually are raised to full adults. Mm-hmm. But in America, that is part of the goal, but it's also much more than that. And so when I read that, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Something about it doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so my thoughts on that is sometimes we're just too educated, right? that you have to get educated to a certain philosophy and worldview to even believe that, mm-hmm. right? I mean, the world didn't start at the founding of America, right? So marriage goes back as far as human civilization. And so this idea that marriage itself is some type of white supremacist tool, that is simply, social gender studies type stuff, right? Because we do know based on our laws, you get married, the wealth stays within the marriage, the person dies, the wealth gets passed down to the kids, it stays within the family. So marriage becomes kind of this benefit to hold on to wealth. Well, if you come from a mindset where you kind of have this socialist, Marxist type of mindset where you want to be able to grab wealth and distribute it as you feel pleased, then you're going to say, mm-hmm. this whole idea of marriage is oppressive, right? It is holding us back. And so I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't say that. I think the human condition, we need each other. Men and women need each other. We desire marriage. I don't care what culture you find, you're going to find a form of marriage, right? And so this idea that this trend, I should say, that we don't need marriage, we need to break up the nuclear family, we need to just kind of recreate our own thing. I've seen a lot of these kind of discussions, and it's almost as if people have realized something is broken, something's not working. And instead of getting back to what we know the solution is, everybody wants to come up with something new and different to make it work instead of saying, how do we get back to what we've lost? Because at one point in time, marriage in our community was a normal, constant, expected thing. And we lost it along the way.